What's going on? All right, Christmas is done, so it's time for me to set up something I want to do for like the last week of the year and dive into a subgenre which I don't even think I reviewed any of these type of films before. So yeah, I'm gonna review about 10 of them. So yeah, it might even trail into the new year. So we'll see. But yeah, we're gonna be checking out westerns for the next little while. So yeah, let's start off with one of the early classics, The Searchers. It was released by Warner Brothers March 13th, 1956. And it stars John Wayne. It was written by Frank S. Nugent and produced by William C. Cooper and directed by the legendary John Ford, who, if you're not sure who he is, he's the one who's behind a lot of classics such as Stagecoach, The Quiet Man, The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance, oh, Valance, yeah, and The Grapes of Wrath. Those are just a few of his films. He has like 50 films to his credit. The Searchers is actually it'll probably be considered a racist movie nowadays, but yeah, John Wayne plays a Texas Ranger in 1836, and he goes and visits his brother coming back from duty and stuff, and then he gets sworn back in to the Texas Ranger and Rangers, and they go and yeah, go and investigate like this like murder that happened, and they find all these killed cattle, and they realize it's the um, Indian Apache, I think it was, or Cherokee or something like that, Indian tribe that was trying to fight back and get their land back from Texas, and and they realize it's either going to be a diversion or they're actually doing a mass killing. So lo and behold, it's a diversion. So there's only two properties that were not fully in Texas, which is one of the other Texas Rangers, John Wayne's brother's house, where they came from. So he goes and checks on them, and there's definitely you can see where George Lucas got the scene from Star Wars where he finds his aunt's house burning, because that's the exact same sort of style scene in this film, and it's very gut wrenching and jarring when you see it, and because you spend like the first like 20-30 minutes of him enjoying his time back with his brother and the family, and then comes back and finds pretty much all of them slaughtered, but then he realizes one of them is not accounted for, and that's his young niece. And yeah, he goes out to see him, and one of his like niece's boyfriends or whatever tags along, joins the Texas Rangers with them, and they set out to find them. And it's the whole film is just a constant journey over a course of like a year or two of them trying to find his missing niece through this in this Indian tribe. And eventually they do catch up to him. They find her, and she's like brainwashed, thinking she's like an Indian, one part of the Indian tribes and stuff. And yeah, it's up to them to try to save her and take out the Indian tribes. Now, this film may be considered racist in a way nowadays, but it is still the fabric of modern filmmaking. And this is one of the iconic Western films of the early 50s, and just stunning photography. Um, the photography in this, like cinematography, is outstanding. It looks exactly like it should. It's filmed basically on location in like the uh, Western United States where it's taking place, and yeah, definitely is gorgeous looking, and the story and the characters are all totally perfectly fleshed out. You care and you want to root for them. You also do realize some of them have more sinister sides to them, but it's definitely a moving film, and definitely one of the way better Western films. I've always seen a handful, so but this one, oh, I was really taken back at how well it was written and photographed for sure, and directed obviously. And yeah, that is a big thing uh, for which you don't see in modern cinema nowadays. And this one, they definitely you feel like you're there with them on that journey with them. And there's some really good funny moments that they incorporate too. So it's not constantly like tension. tense and everything. There is some really funny like jokes and silly humor, which some people might find offensive too, but it is such an enjoyable film, and you definitely root for the good guys and the bad guys and everything, and it's just so much fun. Some of the acting might not be up to par as what we're used to these days, but still, it's definitely old school style acting, and yeah, it's done more like a stage play almost for the most part, but it's definitely a really well put together film. There's not much really to complain about. I wasn't big on some of the actors in it, and but that could just be the older style that I'm not used to. And but for the pretty much the most part, I absolutely love this film. I think it's one of the best westerns I've seen so far, and it's definitely deserves being recognized till this day. A lot of people have talked about this film, and it's definitely a good adventure drama action western story, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it even now, and it's definitely one of the one of the westerns that actually do hold up and is still not super cheesy and stuff, especially the guy who plays the Indian chief. That he was so menacing and evil looking and stuff in it, and it was just so well put together. So with all that being said, I am going to give The Searchers a 4.5 out of 5, only because I'm not used to some of the old school acting wasn't really up to par in my opinion, but still, this is definitely one you have to see, especially if you're a fan of westerns and you're a fan of like John Wayne or all those old 50s style films. This one is in colors, so if you're not a fan of black and white, you don't have to worry about that. This one's in color. It might be a little slow for some people, but it's definitely one of the it's a really good western film, I thought. So yeah, definitely check it out. There's a trail link down below if it sounds like something you're interested in. If you want to check it out, that's down below. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. That's where I post. That's linked down below. That's where I post my the films I'm going to review in the future on my story. I usually have the film title, hashtag, and subgenre film and a hashtag, so you're aware of it. And also, my Letterbox is linked down below at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films. Follow me on one of those two to stay in the loop for this channel. Like this video, share some more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Let me know your thoughts and if you've seen it. And if you have any other Western films or any films in general that you want to hear my opinions on, I'll watch anything. So comment those down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. And make sure you subscribe, because I got 9 other Western films I'm going to be talking about, especially if you're a fan of Westerns, or if you just want to find weird and odd movies that you never thought of checking out together. Make sure you subscribe, or even just hear my opinions on popular films. I do that a lot too. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one, which is probably going to be another good Western film. So yeah, until then, watch out for all those crazy bandits out there, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one. So cheers.